Ben, I think you just joined.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. My name is Benjamin Lau. I'm the Chief Investment Officer here at Abram Advisors, located in Southern California. And we provide financial planning and investment management services to families around here. We manage about $800 million in assets. So our real big niches in the marketplace, we have a women of wisdom program and an industrial practice program that has really dominated our business. So it's been great.
Great. Thank you, Ben. Thanks to all. These are all our panelists today, and so at this point we'll get started. To start off, Jack, if you can go over the study that your group has done and some of the findings that you found, and that'll get us started.
Sure. We did a study to better understand how investment advisors are interacting with their clients in this current environment, and how those clients perceive that interaction. Has the interaction increased? Is it better or different than it used to be in this post-COVID world? And what we found was advisors feel like that they're reaching out a lot more to their clients, and they're working very hard to engage those clients, and they're doing that through a series of different platforms, whether it's email, blog posts, LinkedIn posts, through a bunch of different platforms. But the funny thing is, we found that investors don't feel that. They're not feeling that communication. They're feeling like their advisors haven't changed their communication patterns at all. And if anything, they're hearing less from their advisors in this environment. And what investors are seeking is more communication and in a different format. So advisors continue to push and feel like they're communicating very directly with their clients, but in fact, they're not being heard. And clients are seeking more communication and in shorter format. So what clients want is a more customized and personalized approach to communication that's reflective of both their goals that they've set with their financial advisors, as well as their investments. And they're not getting that today. And advisors are busy creating thought leadership pieces and putting together information that they feel is very compelling for their investors. But the investors feel like the format is too long. They'd like to see it in shorter format, and it's too infrequently communicated. So rather than hearing from an advisor once a quarter with 5 or 6 pages of information, what investors would like to hear from is in a very customized and personalized format. They'd like to hear from their advisors, weekly, in minutes, not hours of reading.
I mean, there's really nothing more satisfying, after my team and I spend hours, dozens of hours working on this great investment report, talking about the Fed minutes and the Fed policy, to see when you send it out through MailChimp, 10% of the people open up the email, right? It's so discouraging, but it's so true, because when we see those numbers now, we send these newsletters out through MailChimp versus Outlook, and now we can see the click-through rate, so we can measure that. And so it was really evident when we started using a service like that we needed to change how we delivered content and how that content was broken up. And it has to be, you're right, Jack, it has to be shorter, right? I talk about with my team, the BuzzFeeding of American news, right? Like everything news-wise is now almost like a BuzzFeed list. And I think that's how we are creating, consuming content, right? Short snippets, maybe a list. I like bullet points a lot of executive summaries. But I think that's really how the consumer has evolved in the last few years, right? I think it's a really exciting time right now for post-COVID world, in that I think clients are really accepting of us if we try new things, right? And we're lucky here. We have a great team of younger advisors here that are working with us, so they have a lot of great ideas. And I think in this kind of post-COVID world, I think we want to try as many of those ideas out. And because I think clients are going to give us a little bit of grace right now, right? They realize a lot of people are trying things out. Does a Zoom thing work, or WebEx, or these digital calls, or what have you? But yeah, I think it's a great time to be trying something out, and if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then let's try something else.
It's interesting to hear kind of the dynamics of how COVID is really changing and pushing a lot of the industry forward with using technology, especially virtually. So this has accelerated the entire industry to move forward, but clients have already been there. They've already been interacting with technology. They've been doing it with family and friends. I think it's more on us as an industry really using this as an opportunity to accelerate. With that, I want to throw a question out to the panelists on, what are some of the specific technologies that you're using to engage and track with your clients, engage with them strategically, and how does that combine with what you're providing for your advisors?
It's mind-numbing for a young advisor to start here. We have one young advisor. It's, could you imagine coming out, starting this industry right out of college? Maybe you have to CFP. You have to deal with 4 generations of clientele and just the overwhelming knowledge and way to speak to different groups, right? You got the tech entrepreneur, the old retired engineer. It's daunting. The nice thing about CRM now is that it's because we can analyze clients and see who's touching them, right? Because the most effective touch point for a client is not necessarily the advisor sometimes, right? Sometimes it's our great service staff that really touches a client a lot during certain periods of time. And so with our CRM, we can really manage like, okay, at least they weren't touched by the advisor, but the trading team called them and told them about some recent trades, or the service team called and make sure that their address was changed. And so that's huge. That's really made the advisors a lot more efficient on targeting who, as Brittany was saying, that they really need to be contacted. The difference between, with all this AI stuff is being creepy versus being like highly attentive and hospitable, right? When you look at when you go to a restaurant that you go to a lot, and that waiter knows that you like flat versus bubble water. Is that creepy, or is that's just good service? That's just good service. And I think yet it is incumbent upon all these advisors to use all this technology. Amin is exactly right. Jack, you're exactly right. All this technology, but let the advisor be the final focal point about, maybe I won't send that email out, to that one client, maybe they just had the pregnancy didn't go so well. So maybe that 529 email shouldn't go out to them.